Okay, so we've learned 4 methods of solving quadratic equations. Each has its pros and cons and certain situations where you can or can't use it. So we're going to go through these, and I'd like you to write these on your own before you look at this video. See how you do. You may have come up with pros and cons that I didn't. So we'll start with factoring. Pros is it's quick and it's easy. The cons is not everything factors nicely. It's hard if your a is not equal to 1, so that's your coefficient of the variable squared. And it does take practice and intuition to get it down. When can we use it? This is actually when the discriminant is a perfect square. If it's not a perfect square, you'd end up, when you did the quadratic formula, like with square root of 2 or square root of 10 or something like that. So that would not factor nicely. Okay, the square root method's the nicest one. That's when we had, say, x squared equals 9 and x equaled plus or minus 3. It's nice, it's simple, it's fast. The cons are that it's easy to forget the plus or minus, and it's only for a very specific equation type. So when it works is when you have something with the variable, usually it'll just be the variable, squared equals some number. You might have maybe 2x plus 1 quantity squared equals a number, and you can use it then also. Completing the square is a very underrated method. It is nice. And it's very nice for theory if you go on into math, higher math. Okay, so pros, it's fast if your coefficient of the variable is even. So let's say you have x squared plus 4x plus whatever. That 4x, since that 4 is even, it's a really good idea to use completing the square. It's also nice because it uses smaller numbers than the quadratic formula. Try it. Try using completing the square method and the quadratic. You're going to be doing a lot more arithmetic if you use the quadratic formula. Now cons is it's really difficult if a is not equal to 1. So that's the coefficient of your variable squared. Or if you don't have that even term in front of your middle term. And when it works, always. The quadratic formula always works. It's very, very nice that way. And it actually came from completing the square. That's how it's derived. The pros are you just plug in. There's no intuition or guessing. Plug in your numbers. Cons is it's easy to make little mistakes. Square something wrong, mix up on a minus. But it always works.